Hi, this is Les Puryear, and I want to talk to you today about non-Calvinist books. There are a lot of books written by Calvinist authors: John Piper, John MacArthur, R.C. Sproul, Mark Devers, a lot of other Calvinists or very prolific authors, and they write a lot of books. What I want to do today is I want to show you some non-Calvinist books that perhaps you might be interested in reading. There are non-Calvinist books on the market. They're not as many as the Calvinist books. And so what I want to show you today are some of the non-Calvinist books that you might be interested in reading. Okay, the first book I want to show you is called Chosen but Free by Norman L. Geisler, and it is called A Balanced View of God's Sovereignty and Free Will. So this is a good book to read. Another good book to read by a non-Calvinist is called Determined to Believe: The Sovereignty of God, Freedom, Faith, and Human Responsibility. That's by John C. Lennox. Another book that I think is real good is called Does God Love Everyone? Does God love everyone? Does He want everyone to be saved? Jerry L. Walls. It's a good book. Another good book is by some Southern Baptist authors, and the name of this book is called Anyone Can Be Saved. It's a defense of the traditional Southern Baptist soteriology. So this is really, really good. And that's another example of a non-Calvinist book. Now this book here is the one that I like best of all. It's called The Potter's Promise: A Biblical Defense of Traditional Soteriology. It's by a guy named Leighton Flowers. Go on to YouTube and watch some of his videos. Leighton Flowers. This is a good book. You ought to pick this one up. So those are some of the theology books. In addition to theology books, I think it's always good to read about non-Calvinist preachers and pastors and what their life has been. This is a good book, and it's called Walking God's Path, and it's about the life of Jimmy Draper. And so that's a good biography about a non-Calvinist preacher. Here's a really good book. Dr. W.A. Criswell, who was the pastor of First Baptist Church in Dallas for many decades, and this is well documented. He calls himself a Calvinist, but as you look at his theology, he really is not a Calvinist. So this is really a good book to read. Another good book to read is the biography of Herschel Hobbs, My Faith and Message. Herschel Hobbs was known as Mr. Baptist. He was on the Baptist Hour, the radio, for more than 40 years. And he was one of the main contributors to the 1963 Baptist Faith and Message. And he is not a Calvinist, that's for sure. Good autobiography, and I highly recommend it. It's always nice to read something about an evangelist, somebody who doesn't have a church per se, but just goes around and preaches God's word. And this is Junior Hill, and this is his biography, and it is an amazing book. So I highly recommend that. Last, but this is really different. It's about the life and legend of J. Frank Norris, the fighting parson. J. Frank Norris was the pastor of First Baptist Church in Fort Worth, Texas. He was a strict non-Calvinist, nowhere even being near a Calvinist, and he could be controversial, but it's an interesting book, J. Frank Norris. So these are just a few of the books that you can find that are non-Calvinist and that will help you from a theological perspective. I think it's important to read biographies about godly men and how God used them in that preaching the good news that Jesus died for us on the cross, and that if anyone believes in him, they shall be saved. So those are some of the books. I hope you enjoy them. You might want to take a look at them. And there are quite a few others online. You just have to look for them. Okay? Thank you, and have a wonderful day.